Hi there, welcome. I'd like to welcome you to the Philanthropic Planner program. I'm Bob Thompson, and we've been doing this crazy thing for a long time. Somebody told me, I think it's Jason or Karen told me, we're over 8.5 years, and we're still sending out boring message to you about a boring subject from a boring guy and so on. Anyway, Philanthropic Planner. Why do we do this crazy stuff? Well, we think it's important to the community to have a friendly dialogue about philanthropy. You know, it's all around us. It's good for the community. It's good for the state, the region, the country, globally. We don't want to talk of legalese. We don't want to talk about making it more boring than what it is. Why would we talk about philanthropy? Well, we want to share with you what others are doing, giving back, and you don't have to be a multi-millionaire to be a philanthropist. It comes in many different forms. In fact, one of the great areas of philanthropy is volunteerism. And we talk about volunteering, we talk about events, everything from biking and races and relays to gathering money for a local community organization, a nonprofit, or even a national organization. So, you know, we talk about what other people have done successfully, and we want to share those ideas with you. Some of them involve tax savings. Some of them are just common sense things that we can do more effectively with the dollar than we can, and depending on maybe one of our government agencies in doing it. Oops, excuse me, that's a bias and prejudice that I have, and I am told that I shouldn't say that very often, but you already know that if you've been viewing, and if you're surfing back and forth, the Celtics aren't doing well, the Super Bowl hasn't come up yet, and they tell me that 31 days from now, we've got pitchers and catchers, so you can surf all you want to, but you're not going to see those Boston Red Sox practice yet. So stay tuned to the Philanthropic Planner, because it's designed for you and me as philanthropists, and it's designed for philanthropic planners, advisors. And it amazes me, in addition to my mother and 2 of my daughters, occasionally my wife will watch 3 minutes of it and laugh. But, you know, we've got viewers in many states that watch the Philanthropic Planner. So let's stay tuned, and we're going to have a guest today. And I think this gentleman we had as a guest 5 or 6 years ago, or more ago, and we're pleased to have him back. In fact, I've been talking to Gus for a number, just disclosure here, I've known Gus for quite some time through the Connecticut Plan Giving Group, and we talk about issues that we're going to share with you today. Gus Burriesci, a state, I may have the title wrong because you've been elevated in the organization, and I understand you're going to be president of American Cancer Society, but Gus is estate and gift planner?
Director of Estate and Asset Services.
Okay. Welcome, Gus.
Thank you
so much.
Glad to have
you
back.
It's been a long time.
Thank you so much for having me. There have been tremendous accomplishments that have occurred at the American Cancer Society. And firstly, thank you so much for having me and recognizing charity as a whole, and also recognizing the American Cancer Society.
Well, it affects all of us, and my own family, certainly, but I think everybody around us has had some experience with cancer, good and bad, and I think we're improving. And the people out there, Gus, know that I struggle with titles for these programs. Some humor, some goofiness that I do, and I usually have a prop, and Karen and Jason laugh at me, and my mother and 2 daughters laugh at me too. But the title today, I didn't share with you, but our title today is Success Breeding Success. And a subheading under that, 100 years, 50 years, today. And we think that this is a case of doing more today. And I think that applies to American Cancer Society. And the 100-year, Gus, was, you don't look that old. But American Cancer Society, about 100 years old?
That's exactly correct. We celebrate our anniversary this past May of 2013, 100 years of saving lives. And we have come so far since that time in 1913 when we began. We were the American Society for Cancer Control, now known as American Cancer Society. And it's quite interesting, Bob, how we began. It was 13 researchers, 13 doctors, physicians, nurses in the New York area. And the disease cancer had come about and no one had heard about it. And it was very scary. And they had said, we don't know what's happening here. And they literally knocked door to door to people to let them know that this disease is coming. We don't know how it's beginning. We don't know what's happening. And a very eerie fact, Bob, is that when we began, if 5 people had cancer, 1 out of 5 survived.
Correct.
And now we have well over 12 million people surviving this insidious disease. And we attribute it, obviously, to the wonderful research that's being done by American Cancer Society grantees and research all over the country.
Now, the 50 year that I was talking about was, I think it's about this time, maybe you correct me, but about 50 years ago, Surgeon General came out on smoking and the effect of lung cancer and that type of thing. And 8, 9, 10 million survivors from this promotion, if I can call it, but awareness of the danger of smoking and that type of thing, and the positive effect from that awareness, increased awareness in saving lives with lung cancer.
That is correct. There have been so many lives saved, and quite honestly, many, many times we always say to people that not to dismay the wonderful doctors that are out there, but many times you have to be your own doctor.
Right.
And many times you have to be a guideline for your own health success, to where a lot of cancers can be avoided by simple regimens of exercise and diet.
Habit.
Slap and slop when you're out in the sun. Don't be out there for more than 15 minutes. Have the highest rate of the sunscreen that you need. And a lot of times how hard it is, Bob, to break habits that we're so used to and so accustomed to.
Well, it's education. We need to inform people, and it's things you're talking about there, that being your own doctor, that kind of thing, awareness, and really sharing that. We're talking about people that are very private in many respects. They don't communicate philanthropy, as an example, but they don't communicate maybe from parents or grandparents to children and grandchildren.
That's correct.
And their experience. We bring a lot of cognitive experience, and it comes across sometimes as preaching from the older person to the younger person, but there is a positive effect there. Now, you mentioned that 1 out of 5, and that was 100 years ago.
That's correct.
But not that long ago, 2 out of 3, I understand, did not make it. And today we've reversed that.
Yes, we have.
2 out of 3 survive.
That's correct.
Experience with cancer.
The death rates, we're very fortunate, have declined because of the research. As I mentioned a moment ago, the American Cancer Society has had close to $4 billion outside of the government. We are the largest research funder in the whole country.
So $4 billion goes to research.
Close to $4 billion that we have raised in research. Here in Connecticut, we're proud to say that we have right now 27 grantees with close to $10 million. And these are at such wonderful places at the UConn, at Yale, at Griffin Hospital, to where people turn around with the kind, wonderful donors that we have, that will turn around, Bob, and say, you know something? I want to make a difference. I've given you my donation, and I want my donation to go toward general, or sometimes people will specify that they want to go toward restricting it to a research.
Yeah.
And wonderfully, these people have turned around, and a grantor has said, a grantee part of me has said, you know something? I have an idea, I have a protocol for breast cancer, but I don't have the funding to do it. And that's where, as my particular position as a fundraiser with American Cancer Society, we will collaborate to try to find someone that will, or a group of people that will support that particular research. Because Bob, how sad is it if someone turns around and he or she has what they think is a breakthrough, which is what we're looking for,
Right, right.
and they're $1 short.
Right.
And that $1 could have been given to us in the form of a will or a trust or the insurance policy or a charitable gift annuity, which is specifically what I do.
And I was going to address that. I'm glad you said that, because we have known each other for a while, and we want to talk about getting into the website of American Cancer Society at the end of the program, and do some of your own research. But the old rule of thumb that I've used in dealing with large organizations such as American Cancer Society and other good national firms is that a great deal, high percentage of the gifting comes from bequests.
That's correct.
And we think that, I mentioned we don't have to be a multimillionaire to be a philanthropist, but it's so easy when we go back and review and revise our wills to change, and I mentioned this on occasions, Gus, change that old will provision from a dollar amount to a percentage amount. That $5,000 that I had in my will in 1984 is not $5,000 for research today, but a 1% of my net worth or what have you in my will makes a big difference.
Yes, it
and
does.
American Cancer Society, tell me, I'm going to guess, is it about 40% of income?
I would say it's about 40 to 50%, and you're exactly correct. It's 2/3 of what we get are bequest, to where someone turns around and says, you know something, and obviously we say to people all the time, no one's saying to anybody to neglect your family,
Right,
your significant other, so to speak.
Well, when we're talking
your
about
family.
1%, we're not talking
Exactly.
about that,
And
because that money will go in taxes somewhere
That's
else.
right. And that is what we try to stress to people, how important it is that you're helping us fight. You're doing something unbelievably philanthropic. You're doing something very unselfish. Because right now, our theme, Bob, we were talking about survivorship a couple of minutes ago, is for people to have more birthdays. Because we feel everyone has a right to have a birthday. Yeah. And we basically say that we help people to stay well, to get well, so we can find these research breakthroughs so people can say happy birthday. Yeah. So they can have more birthdays. And that's really what we're all about. A lot of people, Bob, know our name, but a lot of people don't know what we do.
True.
And we're trying so hard to let people know of the wonderful volunteers that we have, because the volunteers really make it happen for us in conjunction with the research.
Yeah, yeah, and a great deal of money. I'll come back to that, because I want to forgive the personal comment, but you talk about birthdays, and this is a personal comment. My wife's birthday is today. Happy birthday.
Oh, okay.
My wife's birthday today is that she is a 4-year survivor.
That's wonderful.
Of stage 4 ovarian cancer. So the significance and my rapport, if you will, with Gus and the American Cancer Society is, I mentioned it hits a lot of people and our families, but your comment about birthdays hit home. Let me come back to, and correct me, this is a relatively new and exciting added responsibility that you have. I think you said this is regional, but a lot of money to your organization comes from what I will call current cash donations.
That's correct.
Okay. And a lot of effort through event-driven things to get involvement in the community, in society. We relate to each other, and there's an event, and if it's a bicycle or a relay or a walk or what have you, a lot of effort there. But you're in an area that touches home with our theme on philanthropy and planned giving. And bequest is one, but you mentioned gift annuities. We have, well, it's really the generation ahead of the baby boomers, but a gift annuity for a lot of reasons can help people increase their income. Share with us your area, and is it popular, gift annuities with the American
They are
Cancer
extremely
Society?
popular, Bob, and the gift annuity basically is where we have individuals, for the sake of argument, that is 60, 65 years of age or older, and they want to make an impact to the American Cancer Society. They want to have an income for the rest of their life or lives.
Predictable and sustained regular income.
That's exactly right. And they want to have that income, whether it's for one individual or whether it's for two individuals. And everyone wins because they get the handsome income for life. When they pass away or they both pass on, what's the remainder of the annuity, the principal of the annuity, whether it's $50,000 or $100,000, that goes to the American Cancer Society. This has all been projected out to the annuitant or annuitants before obviously they sign the agreement. The wonderful benefits of it are the fact that there are zero fees. It's an agreement strictly between the individual or individuals and the American Cancer Society. And to answer your question, it's extremely, extremely popular. And I always like to say, Bob, there's only one loser in that, and that's cancer. Because we want to have a situation, as we are celebrating 2014 right now in our brand new year here, we want to eradicate this disease. And the problem is that this disease is a series of diseases. And people ask me all the time, there's not a cookie cutter way. We wish there was. But the researchers that we have that are so wonderful, they could be wrong 99 times. They're looking to hit that cancer problem-solving lottery on the 100th time. And it's so important with philanthropy that people realize that with the plan-giving vehicles that we offer at American Cancer Society.
Let me make a comment about gift annuities for a second. The goofiness that I do day to day and week to week when we're talking about promoting gift annuities with various organizations, when we're talking about this lifetime income that we have, one of the benefits is that some of that income is excluded from tax.
That's exactly right.
And I get a tax deduction. And if that motivates you, which it does for some people, but when you have a cause and a mission as important as cancer research and the services that American Cancer Society provides, there are many, many benefits in the charitable gift annuity. And Gus mentioned 60, 65, but when we're talking to people 70, 75, and 80, and they're concerned about the stock market or they're concerned about the low interest rate or no interest rate in the bank, a charitable gift annuity is something that maybe you want to talk to your advisor and say, you know, I've been thinking about this. I saw Bob's boring program, and maybe a charitable gift annuity fits into their planning. Other areas, you mentioned charitable gift annuity or charitable remainder trust.
That's correct.
We haven't done many in the last 3 years, and I'm not sure. Well, I think interest rates, low interest rates, and the deduction, that's a part of it. But it's still viable?
Absolutely. It's still very viable to the work we do, the life-saving work we do at American Cancer Society. And it's very similar to an annuity where there are some differences. Obviously, there are fees involved when one does go ahead and create their particular trust. It's a legal document that gets prepared for them. They go ahead and they choose their trustee. It could be a bank. It doesn't have to be a bank. Sometimes it's a person to where, yes, he or she will receive income for the rest of their life, creating a charitable annuity that they can do, a charitable remainder annuity trust or a charitable remainder uni trust.
There are a lot of different.
There's a lot of different vehicles to where one can restrict on a charitable remainder trust. Obviously, you're gearing it. Your beneficiary designations are charity or charities, and you are correct. The last couple of years, with rates or what have you, they've kind of gone down a little bit, but it's something that.
But the ones that existed or were created 10, 20, 30 years from now are benefiting the American Cancer Society.
Benefiting us very, very much where people are doing it and kindly remembered us where they're getting the handsome income for their life or the rest of their lives. And yes, we are benefiting from that.
Let me ask you, Gus, and we're going to run out of time here, and I've got a lot of things that I'd like to bounce off your head here.
Sure.
Donor advised funds. Donor advised funds in the last, I don't know, 5, 8 years or whatever, have become more and more and more popular. You mentioned cost of a remainder trust. Cost is a big factor when we talk about private foundations.
That's correct.
And charitable remainder trust and so on. Is the American Cancer Society receiving donations on an annual or regular basis from this growing donor-advised fund, I'm going to call it an industry, Gus, but
Yes. Yes.
so society is benefiting from
We have been benefiting from it. Obviously, we were hoping for our life-saving mission that we could benefit a little bit more from the donor-advised funds, no differently than the Charity Remainder Trust and the annuities as well. But yes, we are benefiting. I think what's happening, Bob, is a lot of people are unaware of not only donor-advised funds, but the fact that you mentioned several minutes ago, one can create a charitable gift annuity. And it's my job to let people know that these things exist, to where we have, like you were saying several minutes ago, Bob, our events, like our Relay for Life events, to where it's a celebration of life and remembering those that have passed away from this insidious disease.
And that's a current gift when...
And that's a current gift
yes,
when one
yeah.
does it. But many times from those, Bob, people will arise from that and say, you know something, I want to do more. I'm in a position where, unfortunately, Gus, I can't walk that track.
Right, right.
But I can go ahead and I can remember you, not only in my trust or in my will or charitable gift annuity, but also in my insurance plan. I can remember you. I can make you the owner, Gus, or I can go ahead and remember you as a beneficiary.
Right.
And it's my job to let people know, and in our marketing and quite frankly word of mouth, that these things exist because people want to help us. Like you said several minutes ago, unfortunately, I guarantee you if I said, if people know someone that has had this disease, I guarantee you 98% of the people would say they have.
Yeah, yeah. Now, life insurance, and we've talked about that on the program, because we have people come into our firm and say, you know, I'm going to do away with this policy. It's old, it's outlived its purpose. I don't have, the kids are out of college.
Sure.
I don't have a mortgage anymore, and so on. And it's so easy to utilize that that life policy for charitable means.
Very much so.
Like you said, beneficiary or even ownership of it. And IRAs, Uncle Sam and Congress has played games, and IRS, we're on again, off again over the last 6 or 8 years. American Cancer Society get any funds or benefits from the required minimum distribution that I can send my required distribution directly to the American Cancer Society, and that's from the IRA?
Yes, we have. As a matter of fact, I had a gift from a wonderful woman, a year-end gift, where someone did, as a matter of fact, remember us as a beneficiary in our IRA rollover. So you are seeing a lot more of these gifts.
But that's as a beneficiary.
Yes.
That's as a beneficiary. Now, American Cancer Society has to wait. We're living longer. Our longevity is longer.
Before
so these vehicles, gift annuity and charitable remainder trust and so on, you got to wait until I die, right?
That's correct. They're future gifts.
When we're talking about current giving, these events and that type of thing, or I went to that donor advised fund for a second, but when we talk about these vehicles and the current giving, when we're talking about beneficiary of an IRA, you still have to wait for me to die.
That's correct.
When we talk about a required minimum distribution,
we get the funds right away.
Our viewers that are over 70 and a half, and Uncle Sam IRS says you have to take out a certain amount from your IRA, and depending on whether Congress is going to say, yes, we can do that up to $100,000 or whatever, it can go direct to American Cancer Society, and you didn't have to wait for me to die.
That's correct.
Okay? So our experience is, especially last month in December, we had a number, and a large number of people, okay, and dollars. The volume of dollars increased substantially. And I just wondered if you were experienced.
Yes, we have received many, many gifts in that regard as far as current funding. And like I said, I gave the example also, and you're exactly right. Planned giving is exactly what it is. It's a planned gift. It's a gift for the future, specifically what I do. But the IRAs can be used in obviously different ways, whether it's a beneficiary in an IRA rollover, or you have a situation to where immediately the funds go to us, which we need obviously right now for our life-saving research.
And current cash is very forefront, and it doesn't take the chief financial officer of any organization to say we need current cash to come in, okay? But the planned giving aspect of it, the seeds that you're planting today are going to benefit American Cancer Society in the future. And it's a difficult job. You have a tough job in
Yes.
plan giving. And we'll cut off the end of this so that if you show this taped program to anybody in the American Cancer Society, you can cut off this last 2 or 3 minutes. A website. American Cancer Society has a website that people can get into and look at some of the good and successes in fighting the battle, okay?
Exactly.
And we are, Cancer Society is fighting the battle, and we're being
Very much.
successful. The title, Success Breeding Success. I have a complaint. Well, first of all, how do they go in and Google? They can just Google American Cancer Society.
It's actually www.cancer.org.
Okay.
And it'll bring you right to our website.
Okay, and I've been there many, many times, walking clients through and, topic by topic by topic, because prostate cancer, we didn't talk about that, but that goes way, way on. I mean, we're doing 90% success in that area.
That's exactly
And
right.
we've improved breast cancer results, and I mentioned ovarian cancer in a second. But my complaint, okay, and you didn't hear this, okay? Plan giving and estate planning, I don't see on that website.
It's on there.
Where is it?
Oh yeah, you go on there, you go into the tabs. If you put in my name, it will
Wait a
bring you
minute,
right to
wait
the
a minute.
tab.
Correct. out there doesn't know your name. Forgot
That's correct.
your name.
If you
okay?
put in plan giving,
so I have to search?
you have to on their website.
Yeah.
There's different tabs for all of us directors all across the country.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. But subject-wise,
It should be under. It's either under plan giving or estate planning.
Gus, I'm going to bet you lunch on this.
Well, that's all right.
okay?
The lunch is.
I don't want people out there to struggle to make a gift to you.
I understand that.
And I think we ought to do more. This is my bias, okay? Plan giving is important in philanthropy.
Yes, it is.
And we don't talk about it enough. All the vehicles and everything that we talked about are very important. And I'm pulling your leg on that American Cancer
Exactly.
Society website. Gus, you got a tough job, and I wish you luck. And,
Thank you so
I'm,
much.
I'm so glad that you were brave enough to come back after
Thank you.
doing this 6 years ago. And,
Thank you.
And the best of luck to American Cancer Society in this ongoing serious fight. And I didn't get a chance to talk about some other things about how these researchers are now communicating and sharing their results a little bit more. Maybe we'll have you back and
I
we'll
would like to do that, and I just wanted to add very quickly.
Maybe we can have a doctor come with
That
you.
would be wonderful. I just want to add very quickly that the researchers that we do have, many times the researchers will open up their doors graciously and let our donors see them at work.
Yeah.
And we're more than happy to do that if anytime anyone is interested so they can see them at work. And personally, I wanted to thank Bob so much for having me on again. And Bob has been a long-time supporter of American Cancer.
Thank you. Gus, come back again. And you come back again. Oh, by the way, if I have 2 seconds, write out that small check to Simsbury Community TV. Karen and Jason will love you. Have a good one. Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
Performing to a sold-out crowd on my first world tour.
Surrounded by my kids and grandkids.
Riding my custom chopper down the Pacific Coast Highway.
I think I'd want just a little more time with my mom.
1 out of 3 people will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. Help save the birthdays. Donate to the American Cancer Society today.